Or you can just say, I go by the lifestyle coach as well. The lifestyle coach, yeah.
Okay, rolling.
Mrs. Thompson, the lifestyle coach. Mrs. Thompson. Mickey Thompson, the lifestyle coach. Gotcha.
2.
3, 4, 5, 6. Welcome to My Truth, hosted by your girl, Miss Lyrik, aka The Beautiful Beast. And I have an exciting show for you all today. You do not want to miss it. I am here with the Life Swap Coach, Mickey Thompson. Y'all, we're going to go ahead and get right into this. Listen, how you doing, sis?
Hi, beautiful. I'm so happy to be here.
I know. I'm so happy to have both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking time out of your busy boss schedule, right, to have this interview. We want to talk about empowerment and all of the things that we can, do to help people have a better life. So I want to go ahead and have you introduce yourself and let them know who you are and what you do.
Awesome. I'm Michaela Thompson. I go by Mickey or the Life Swap Coach, depending on where you met me. I am a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a serial entrepreneur, I'm a life coach, and most importantly, I am just someone who is walking in my purpose, looking to impact as many lives as possible, looking to make sure that everybody I talk to, everybody I touch, knows that they have everything within them that they need to live and create their dream life.
Awesome. We want to this is a real transparent show. It's called My Truth for the purposes of real women, real issues that have really survived. And I love that you shared your story with me. You are amazing inspiration, to me even. So I just want you to tell the people what it is that you have survived. What would you say that you're a survivor of?
Wow, I am an overcomer and a survivor of sexual abuse as a child by a family member. I'm an overcomer and survivor of marriage that ended in divorce, that ended up in me becoming a widow because my husband died 2 months after we got divorced unexpectedly. I'm a survivor and overcomer of miscarriages, of physical abuse, of being with a serial cheater who had an online addiction to online sex, being broke, having my car repossessed, being evicted from my house, my home, being raised in a religion cult that I had to break free, losing all my friends, strained relationships with my family, being in the adult industry, selling myself literally short. Girl, what happened? I survived.
Listen, and you know what we say, I do not look like what I've been through.
Thank God.
Oh my God. So just pretty much one of the things is this positivity. During this quarantine even, it's just been so many people that, need inspiration. You know what I mean? And to hear you say that you survived all of those things, it's women that's currently, going through those things right now. So I would just like to, if you could share, how did you survive? How did you overcome, certain hurdles?
Well, you have to get to the point where you just look at your life and you look yourself in the mirror and you say, I deserve more, I'm worth more. There's no way, I don't care who you worship, there's no God that's going to create someone to put them through all these trials without a testimony at the end. I'm not going through this mess just to be living in this mess. So you have to go from thinking about where you are to thinking about what could come from where you are. So I like to call it turning your pain into profit. Like, what am I going through that somebody else may be going through, that if I get through it, I could help them. I could become their testimony, their reach up. So I really got to that point in my life, and it was right when I found out that I was pregnant with my boyfriend's daughter, who I was literally contemplating when the right moment to break up with him and end our long-term relationship was. We were living together. It was just going nowhere. There was no growth anywhere. It was draining, absolutely draining. So I got to the point where I'm pregnant with this child, and I'm like, WTF, like WTF. I literally would just stand in the shower and cry. When I close my eyes, I could literally see myself in my apartment in Tampa just crying, just so lost. Like, okay, what am I gonna do now? At this time, I wasn't very religious. I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness. At this time, I had been out for maybe like 2-3 years. So I didn't have any religion. I didn't have any religion. I didn't have any relationship. Like, I wasn't even praying before I ate, to keep it real with you. Like, I was pretty much like, you know what, this whole God thing isn't for me. I was just kind of living by the seat of my pants. So when I found myself pregnant, my soul felt drawn to go to a place of worship, to try to search for God. So I found myself going to this church that was literally less than a mile from my house. I would go for the Tuesday, the Thursday, and the Sunday. And I would literally just sit in the back of this church and cry, like every single service. And so one day I felt led to actually go to the front. When they call out, who wants to be saved, like I felt myself being called. I felt God calling me and saying, you need me. Yeah. You need me. And I remember asking God, be like, God, if you're there, if you're real, this is the time to show yourself right now, because I'm going to believe you. Show me who you are and I'll believe you. This is what I want. I'm working as an adult entertainer, and I'm not talking about stripper. I'm like out there. I'm working as an adult entertainer. I'm with this guy who keeps cheating on me, won't go out and do anything to help me provide for us. I'm pregnant with this child that I'm not going to get an abortion. I'm going to keep this child, and I just don't know what to do. But I know I know where I want to be. I know the type of life I want. I know the type of marriage I want. I know the type of career I want to have. But I don't know how to get there. And so just really pouring out and asking him. And I was at such a low point in my life that I was expecting him to answer. And a lot of people ask God for things, but I don't think they really expect for him to show up. Right. I was not asking just to have a conversation. I was expecting him to show up. Mm-hmm. And he absolutely showed up for me and just started showing me little things, little steps. First he showed me, you have to remove yourself from this environment. I can't work in this environment. Yes. So I literally moved. I told my boyfriend at the time, we're done. I'm getting rid of our apartment that I'm paying for at this time. You figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. We'll try to co-parent. So at this point, I found out I was having a girl. And I was like, there's no way, after I got rid of that relationship, okay, there's no way I can still be an adult entertainer with the girl. Like, what am I going to do? What am I going to go to career day and tell my children, my daughter's teachers and students that I do? Like, I was like, I can't do this. I don't want to keep living this life. Taking the risk was okay just for me, but knowing I had someone to go home to, that wasn't good enough. I wasn't going to let her be born into that. So it's like, and I was making a lot of money. Like, a lot of people, money wasn't my issue. I was making a lot of money at this point. I was actually making more money in the adult industry than I'd ever made in my entire life. Right. So it's like, okay, I'm not going to go get a job. I'm not about to work anybody's minimum wage. At this point, I'm getting paid to fly around the world, eat 5-star, live 5-star, hang out with 5-star millionaire people. I'm not going backwards. So I'm like, God, you need to put me in an environment, put me in a career, put me in a situation where I can maintain this lifestyle and go to the next level, because going backwards is not an option for me. I'll make it work and lie to her students and give her a good life before we sit here broke and struggling. I know that's right. That's right. God introduced me to the network marketing industry. Okay. He started putting me in that world with the network marketers. They had a free schedule. They did what they wanted. They made a ton of money. They socialized. Like, I was like, okay, I can see myself being in this world, being in this lifestyle. And so I started doing, one of the first things that I learned on that journey was personal development. Okay. And growing up, my parents had always preached religion, spirituality, prayer, reading the Bible, but I had never heard of personal development before. We didn't read the self-help books. We didn't go to therapy. We didn't try to work on ways to improve ourselves. So I really fell in love with personal development. I really fell in love with just taking everybody out of the equation and focusing on myself and focusing on how I can improve myself so that I can create a better situation. I feel like a lot of women, they get in their situations and they look at them as their final destination. But one of the first things that I learned is that our final destination is a tombstone, is a grave site.
Yes.
So if we're not there yet, every day is a new day and a new opportunity. And I feel like God had just breathed into me a new air, a new life, a new set of eyes to see everything so differently. And I didn't cling on to what wasn't working for me anymore. I wasn't comfortable being uncomfortable. I was ready to be uncomfortable. I was ready for something. I was ready to learn. And it was hard. It was hard walking away from all that money. I mean, I'm talking about thousands of dollars to hop on a plane and go to Italy and spend a week living a great life that I saw myself living.
Right.
It was hard to walk away from that. And a lot of times I walked away only to walk right back into it.
Right, so was it a process for you to go from that lifestyle into?
It was a big process. I was living a double life for, I would say, a good year, year and a half. At this time, my husband, I met him. It's funny, he had messaged me on Facebook like years before we ended up in the same circle. I was still married when he messaged me on Facebook originally, and I was like, whatever. I remember telling my husband, like, some dude randomly messaged me on Facebook, but he came back up, and so we started talking, dating, just very privately, very discreetly. He knew what I did. I was very open and honest with it. He didn't judge me. He was very accepting. But yeah, it was a lot of back and forth. I got an opportunity to move to Atlanta where all the networkers were, have my living paid for. So I took that opportunity and I moved to Atlanta. I didn't bring my daughter. My thing was always having my daughter in a safe place where she's comfortable and giving her stability. So I left my daughter in Florida with my mother. I moved to Atlanta. Literally, 1 week I was in Atlanta, networking, networker, showing up to business meetings, learning new things, making money. The next week I'd fly back to Florida, be a mom to my daughter, seeing my clients on the side, making enough cash. I wasn't making enough money in my Atlanta business yet, so I had to fund these lives. So I was still, no one in Atlanta knew what I did except for my boyfriend. My new boyfriend, the guy I was talking to, my current husband at the time. So in Atlanta, I had one persona. When I went back home, my schedule was booked with clients and my daughter. And I did that for, like I said, a year and a half. So while I was doing that, I was constantly doing personal development. I'd be seeing clients, I was waiting for one client, or on a plane flying with another one. I would be reading my personal development book, writing my goals out, doing my work, promoting my business that I had in Atlanta. And I literally kept going back and forth until I replaced my income in Atlanta, and I was able to bring my daughter to Atlanta with me. But it was very, very hard because just like they say, what's easy to do is also easy not to do. So it's like when I would look at these phone calls coming in, $2,500 for 2 days, sure it would have been easy to not take the call, but it was also easy not to ignore the call. So it was a very long, stressful process making that transition, but I literally just kept my eyes on the prize. Like, no matter what offers I got, what opportunities, I knew what my end result had to look like. So I just stayed focused and just grinded through it.
Absolutely. Transformation, much like a makeover, we start with something and then we have to go through those steps in order to have that complete.
I call it a life swap.
Life swap is, tell me about why you call it life swap.
So life swap, I actually was working with a branding person on my book and sharing my story and getting me out to the world. And she actually she said it came to her, life swap. She started thinking about it. She's like, wow, life swap, life swap, life swap. This is perfect. I loved it. I didn't know why I loved it, I just loved it. Then God came to me and he's like, you know what swap means, Mickey? Do you know how you did your life swap? Do you really know? And swap starts with a prayer. My entire life swap started with a prayer. It started with my petition asking God to show himself to me and me expecting his answer. And so that's what I do. I help people. I reintroduce. That's part of the coach, in my opinion, is to reintroduce you to yourself, but to a version that you can't currently see because you're too deep into where you currently are. So with my coaching, with Life Swap, I reintroduce people to themselves and who they could be if they could let go of the paradigms, thoughts, and beliefs that they once had. And it worked for me. I mean, I'm proof. I'm not one of those people who had an easy life and now I'm trying to teach you to have an easy life. No, I've been through some real shit and I had to overcome it. I had to get through it. I had to make choices and decisions just how every one of us have to make choices and decisions. So my goal as a coach and helping people with their life swaps is to help them make those good thoughts and decisions that will transform and create new results.
Okay. So what is your she power?
My superpower is manifestation. Like, I've been called a witch, I've been called, like, manifestation queen, like, and I've been saying this since I was a kid, I get what I want. And if I don't get it, that means I really didn't want it. Like, I have the power to create whatever I want in my reality, good or bad. But that is my power.
Awesome. So, for those women that are currently in this situation, what would you, say to them to help them, get out of or change their mindset?
You have to get out of that familiar hell. The unknown, your personal power is lying in the unknown. But as long as you stay in your familiar hell, that's all you ever experience. So my advice to them would be just step outside that hell. Tap into the world of unknown where you don't know what could happen, because the only thing that can happen is you get everything you want.
Absolutely. Do you have anything that you would tell the old you if you were able to coach yourself?
Get out your own way sooner. Get out of your own way sooner. I was the only thing holding me back.
Wow.
I had all the potential in the world, all the gifts and talents in the world, but I was blocking myself from seeing it and from becoming it.
Yes.
I was attaching my destiny to other people's destiny that I had no business even having them in my life.
Wow.
So if I would have got out of my own way sooner, cut the ties sooner. If you're in a toxic relationship, if you're in a toxic friendship, if you're in a toxic job, I don't care how scary it is because you don't know what's going to happen when you cut it off and trust God. Expect God to give you the replacement to what you're letting go. Because that letting go is a symbol of your faith and expectation that there is something better out there.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. Listen, they're wrapping it up. They're telling us to wrap it up.
Yes.
So we're going to wrap it up only to come back because we're going to definitely have to have a part 2.
For
because
sure.
This is real healing. This is a real mission. And we are going to help transform some lives in the most major way. We're going to be life swapping.
We'll be life swapping.
Everybody up in the Everybody. So listen, Mickey, can you tell the people how to get in touch with you, how to stay in touch with you, follow you, all that stuff?
Yes, but first I just want to give it back to you and thank you for just taking the lead in the community and really just giving women a platform to be authentic, to be transparent, because online everybody sees the good stuff, they see the husband, they see the kid, they see the success, but a lot of people don't know with what some of their sheroes have been through.
Yes.
So I really appreciate, I'm so grateful for you and all the women that the lives that you're going to change through this platform. So salute to you and your she power of getting the stories out there. You can reach me at Instagram, Life Swap Coach, and let's get it together.
Absolutely. Listen, y'all, I know y'all want to hear more, so do I, so she's definitely coming back. We have some amazing things to announce that's coming up in the very near future.
Yes.
Listen, just stay tuned. We'll be back with more My Truth. You already know what we do. We get into it. So everybody can be alright. That's what it's about. Everybody must be alright.
Everyone must be alright.
Everyone must be alright. You already know it's your girl, Miss Lyrik, aka The Beautiful Beast. And I will see you guys next time.
Signing out. Be rolling.
Oh, that's me, bro, so it's fine.
Awesome. Man, we're gonna do an interview. I love this setting. So we're gonna do like a Meet the Thompsons interview. Lyrik's gonna stand behind. We're gonna hear her voice. She's gonna ask us questions, and we're gonna